Hello, Assalamualaikum and a very good day. Today in this video, I'm going to do a walkthrough on how to use KEDIP application. As you can see here on the center left, we have an application named KEDIP. KEDIP can be installed in Android smartphone, but not in other platforms such as iOS. This is due because KEDIP was built around Java template, which means it can only be installed in Android-based smartphone or system. So we can just click on this application. When the user click KEDIP application, the user will be sent to this main activity, or this is the main page. So as you can see here, below we have three different buttons. We have Run KEDIP, and then we have Settings, and lastly is Test Activity for phone. The first button is where the user will be sent to a layout where the user can play with KEDIP. And the first button imitates it will imitate two objectives of KEDIP application. The first one is to control cursor by using eye gaze, and the second one is to click on button or perform a clicking activity by using eye blink. And then we have the next button, which is Settings. This is where the user have the ability to manipulate some system settings. And lastly would be Test Activity for phone. Before I click on Run KEDIP, we will go through the next two buttons, Settings and Test Activity for phone. We will go for Settings first. So inside Settings, we have some variable that we can change. From top here, we can see the first one is Show Input Image. Just like what it explained, it will show input image of camera, which enable users to calibrate the device easily. In this case, whenever the user run KEDIP, they will be prompted with an external box on top of the screen where it will show what the front camera is currently receiving, meaning that the user can see his or her own face inside that box. So the user have the ability to disable this, and in this case we are going to check this part so that we can see our face later on. And then here we have the cursor speed. This is where the user can change the speed of the cursor, meaning that if the user want to go faster, meaning the user want the cursor to move a little bit faster, the user can give much greater values, and the default value will be 6y6. This is because this is the most efficient cursor speed to be used in KEDIP. And then we have algorithm execution period. In this option, the user can change the execution speed, meaning that if the user change this value to much higher value or bigger value, for example 0.9, the user allow the system to do an extensive or gives much more bigger duration for KEDIP application to perform calculation. But the bigger the value, it will make the application works much laggy than smaller value, for example the default 0.1. And then we have Test Activity keyboard. So there are two different kind of layout where the user can use. I will show you an example. In Test Activity for phone, this is where the user can try to see what kind of layout they are using. So the default layout will be this kind of layout. This layout consists of multiple buttons. These buttons represent specific text. For example, if I click on stay, the text will be please stay here. If the user click on food, the text will be can I have some food. Same goes with water. The text will be changed to can I have some water. I hope you can understand a gist of what this layout is all about. It's more about minimalizing the buttons so that it will represent much greater value. For example, just like I said about stay, it will represent a longer text that explained about stay. So we go back to the test activity keyboard. Whenever the user click on test activity keyboard, the layout will be changed to an activity that consists of keyboard. This is different from the previous layout that I just showed. So in this case, the user can click on the text on the buttons which the user can use to type text. So this part, it gives user the ability to change the layout of the application. And then we have language. The language, there is only one language, English. And then we have standardize for KEDIP detection and standard eye for eye gaze detection. So what are these two all about? In KEDIP, we are going to use two eyes. The first one is for blinking detection and the second one is for eye gaze detection. Here the user can change the default eye for blinking or KEDIP detection. We can change it to left eye or right eye based on the user's capability. Some of the user might not comfortable to blink or wink or KEDIP by using left eye. Therefore, they can change it to the right eye where they deemed to be much comfortable for the user. And then we have eye gaze detection. Same like my explanation for the previous option. We have left eye and right eye for eye gaze, meaning that KEDIP will depend on either left or right eye for eye gaze detection. So in this case, we are going to set it on right eye. And then we have at the bottom we have application info. These are just accessories for the application. And that's it for settings. And now what we're going to do, we are going to play with KEDIP. So the user can click on run KEDIP, and here we have 3 nodes which will help the user to improve the accuracy and the detectability of KEDIP. And the first one would be avoid black backlights, which will causes a problem in detection. And then making sure the user put their face in the camera proportionally direct with the camera. And lastly, to take off any eyeglasses, and then the user can click on run KEDIP. Here, when the user started using application, user will be asked to follow some commands by the system in order to help the user to calibrate with the smartphone camera. And this is made to make sure the user understand how to use it and the user have a glimpse of idea on how to use KEDIP application.
Look at center of the screen. KEDIP. Look up. Look down. Layering process complete.
Before I let the video run by itself, there are some things which needs to be clarified. So in this layout on top, we have this one small box as you can see, that contains the user's eye. This small box is made in order for the user to easily calibrate their face with the front camera. And as like I said in the previous menu settings, where the users can enable or disable the small box. And then at the bottom right, near the emergency button, we have this one object which is in circle shape. So this is the cursor that needs to be controlled by using eye gaze. So the user will control this cursor to move throughout the layout or the smartphone screen and to click any buttons that the users want. And the rule of thumb is two things to be remembered. The first one, to move the cursor, the user needs to move their eye. For example, to the left or right, top and bottom. And the second rule of thumb is whenever the user wants to click on a button, the user needs to wink, KEDIP or blink. So that's all about the things that need to be explained. Enjoy the video.